All right, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you might just save you from sending that 3 a.m. Hey, text. You know the one. The text that feels like a good idea until she leaves you on scene for 8 hours, and suddenly you're questioning your life choices, your deodorant, and whether you should have just become a monk in the Himalayas. But what if I told you that women, yes, even the ones who seem completely unbothered, aloof, and emotionally bulletproof, have weaknesses, and not in a bad way, but in a very human, very predictable, very stoic way. And if you, my friend, understand these 10 weaknesses, not to exploit but to understand, you're going to be playing chess while everyone else is stuck playing checkers in the dating game. So buckle up, stay curious, and try not to text her just yet. 1. Validation, the secret sauce. Let's start with the big one, validation. Even the most confident woman craves it, not because she's insecure, but because she's human. The world constantly judges women, how they look, how they act, what they wear, what they say, how they breathe during a Zoom call. Now here's the plot twist. It's not the guy who gives her validation that gets her hooked. It's the guy who withholds it with grace. The stoic man doesn't rush to compliment every new selfie. He doesn't fall into the trap of heart reacting to every story. He observes. He praises when it's genuine, and when he does speak, oh, she listens. Because his words aren't just flattery, they're rare, like Wi-Fi in a forest, and nothing is more addictive than a man who makes her feel seen, without making her feel studied. 2. Mystery, aka the vanilla ice cream problem. Here's a truth bomb. People don't crave what they understand, they crave what keeps them guessing. Now imagine this. You walk into an ice cream shop and all they sell is vanilla. It's great. For 5 minutes. Then you're like, okay, what else? That's what happens when you reveal everything about yourself too soon. Women, like all curious creatures, fall harder when there's a bit of mystery. Not secrets, mystery. The stoic man? He's not a walking diary. He shares but never overshares. He doesn't try to prove himself. His silence says, I'm good with or without your approval. And that silence, it echoes in her mind at 1 a.m. louder than any sweet talk. 3. Emotional stability, the calm in her chaos. Let me paint a picture. She's had a rough day. Her boss was a nightmare. She spilled coffee on her shirt, and the barista spelled her name, Blorgon. Enter, you. Not you ranting about your fantasy football team. You, the calm, emotionally stable man who doesn't get rattled. You don't try to fix everything. You listen. You don't react. You respond. That, my friend, is stoic gold. Emotional composure is a magnetic force, because in a world of chaos, the woman who finds a man that feels like peace will not want to let go. 4. Leadership energy, without being a tyrant. Here's the thing. Women don't want to be controlled, but they're deeply attracted to a man who can lead, not with orders, but with direction. Imagine this. You're planning a date. She says, I don't know, I'm cool with anything. Most guys, okay, we could, I don't know, maybe Netflix. The stoic guy, be ready at 7. Wear something casual, you'll love it. Boom. That's leadership. It's not aggressive, it's not arrogant, it's clear, confident, steady. A man who leads with purpose triggers something ancient in her psychology. Security, admiration, attraction. It's not about being bossy, it's about being decisive when it counts. 5. Purpose-driven men, aka the guy who's not obsessing over her. There's a strange paradox in attraction. The man who wants her more than his purpose. She'll lose interest. But the man who's driven, who has passions, goals, and refuses to revolve his life around her like she's the sun. Yeah, that guy becomes irresistible. Why? Because she knows he's not desperate. He's not waiting around for her texts like a puppy at the door. He's moving, he's building, he's focused. And that focus, that discipline, it makes her wonder, what does he love more than me? And that curiosity, it keeps her coming back. 6. Humor, not clownery, but confidence. Okay, let's get this straight. There's a difference between being funny and being the human version of a whoopee cushion. One is attractive. The other, not so much. Women love a man who can make them laugh without trying too hard. Humor is actually a sign of intelligence. It's social courage. The Stoic man uses humor wisely. He's not trying to win her over with dad jokes every 5 seconds, but he knows when to drop a line that breaks the tension. She says, "I'm cold." You say, "Well, that's what happens when your heart's been iced out since middle school." Boom. She laughs. She lowers her guard. In that moment, you're not just a guy. You're an experience. 7. Emotional presence, without being needy. Here's a subtle one. Women can tell when you're there, but not really present. You know when you're nodding but mentally checking the NBA score? Yeah, don't do that. True emotional presence is rare. When a woman talks, the Stoic man listens, like actually listens, not just to reply, but to understand. He looks her in the eye. He asks real questions. He's with her. And the irony, the more present you are, the more she starts chasing your attention, because most guys don't offer presence, they offer performance. But presence, that's a superpower. 8. Subtle assertiveness, the gentleman. Wolf, you don't have to bark to be the wolf. One of a woman's deepest psychological cravings is to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. The Stoic man doesn't dominate a room with ego. He walks in with calm certainty. He speaks slowly, moves intentionally, sets boundaries without raising his voice. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't explain himself 17 times. And here's the thing. When a woman feels your silent assertiveness, it's like a warm blanket for her subconscious. She knows you can lead, protect, and hold your ground without ever needing to raise your voice. 9. Scarcity, being available but not too available. This one's gonna sting, but it's the truth. If you're always there, replying in 5 seconds, rearranging your life for her, you become boring. Harsh, I know. But here's the twist. Scarcity creates value. When you're not always available, when you're selective with your time, when your world doesn't stop because she texted, "Hey," she feels it. The Stoic man knows how to balance presence with independence. He's not rude. He's just not needy. And that space, that distance, it makes her feel something stronger than any romantic line, desire. 10. Silent strength, aka the rock energy, last but not least. You know what makes a man unforgettable? It's not his abs, although those don't hurt. It's his unshakable strength, not brute force. I'm talking about the kind of strength that's felt in your posture, your eye contact, your ability to stay calm when things fall apart. The Stoic man doesn't crumble under pressure. He doesn't lash out when rejected. He doesn't seek revenge or validation. He breathes. He thinks. He walks away when necessary, not because he's weak, but because he has power and chooses peace. And that, my friend, is the rarest form of strength. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it leaves an impact that lingers longer than any perfume. So there you have it, 10 female weaknesses that aren't really weaknesses. They're keys to understanding what truly attracts women at the deepest level. Not games, not tricks, just awareness. The Stoic man doesn't manipulate. He observes, he leads, he protects his peace. And ironically, that's exactly what makes women want to chase him. So the next time she ignores your text, remember this. You don't need to win her over. You just need to become the kind of man she can't ignore. Stay calm, stay focused, stay stoic, and let her wonder. What is it about him? Because when you master yourself, you stop chasing, and she starts noticing.